Dolores Totes one.
Here.
Christopher Eaglebear. Todd Bearshield.
Oh.
Steve Austin Wright.
Here.
Stanley Woodenknife Jr. Michelle Hollowhorn Bear.
Here.
Royal Yellowhawk. Robert Rattling Leaf, excused. Charles DeBerry Jr.
Here.
William Marshall, excused. Wayne Frederick, excused. Emily Boyd Valandra. Alvin Bearhill Sr.
Here.
Sherry Wright Plank.
Here.
Camelot Wilcox.
Here.
Lila Kills Insight. Michael Bolt Sr. excused. William Kindle.
Here.
Ben Black Bear the Third.
Oh.
Marion Little Thunder.
Here.
7, 8, 9, 13.
13 present. We have a quorum. I'll call the meeting to order at 10:10. Lila, can you say a prayer, please?
Kashila nahi hanipi. Awopila ke ongeni chapi. Kashila awi chozani wo ke wonk lake. Ayuha wonk yapie. Oyate ki kashila atuk del. Hook washigla umpina. Inch hook hujapina. Inch hook yokshi chapi. Khat kashila lana eleatumina. Taku washte yakagina kashila lana. Usha hoye chicha kashila na. Dona lel. O makina tukashila washichu kumpi. Taku ota iwongla kamna tukashila. Taku ota woke. Hena tukashila hena tukashila washichu kum. No yate ki washte bikda yukha hena. O kiapia le betuki. Washi tuka. Tukashila wablaza washte wiyaku bikda. Na wakaija ki tukashila wayabla na tukashila Oyo kipi tukashila yuhapik de nadagni awa tukashila shita tukashila uchipishni cha tukashila waya blakila na pachinki uichakya ya heche wons bedlustamna tukata kya ija zania umpik de na tukashila petukila aishbechena tukashila nishnala ni wakfan chalana Washtea Kavoyaki Hichatukashila Ushiolapia Mitakuyas.
Where's our seniors Charles. So did you have your hand up, Emily told?
Good morning, everyone. I have a few committee reports to give today, and then after that, I would like to be excused to attend SU.
Yes. With council's permission, if we can start off with health board and land and natural.
Yep, and if there's anything that education needs, I don't know if they have any resolutions, but those would be the three that I would report out.
Yeah, they're probably going to need Emily for a quorum over at SU. My mom got a call for a kidney this morning, so. Worried about not attending. Then she was worried about not attending the Board of Regents meetings.
Well, thank you for staying and chairing the meeting. I know you.
It was this morning. She got Totes.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to be excused at 3 today. I have a vision appointment. Thank you.
And Michelle.
Good morning. I would like to be excused that one today as well. Probably gonna lose quorum. Sorry, guys.
One.
And then I also have 3 petitions I need to get through for judiciary as well.
Okay, I have that on here too.
Okay.
Do we have one for treaty too?
Yes.
Okay.
Did he give you a copy of that?
He said you have it.
I do, and then I think my bag and left it to the I texted.
Okay. Todd and then Jack. Hi.
Good morning. I just wanted to see if we could, we can adjourn around 3 today. And mainly so Lisa could get to Sioux Falls. Her mom got a call for kidney. That's my sister. And then another thing, my van broke down, like harder turn around this morning. So Lisa had to turn around and come back and pick me up. And then I called the Shook County Sheriff and told him I'd try to have it off there before dark. So sitting right on the highway, But, I was just gonna see if we could, unless we got too much business, but yeah, I was hoping Lisa could get Sioux Falls too sometime. Thank you.
Tammy.
Good morning, everybody. Mine is, I have an appointment with the school at 12:30. So I would definitely need to be there.
Leave at 12?
Yeah.
12. Ben,
Good morning, council. Yeah, I know we spent a lot of time last night, but I would like to be excused at noon. Got an appointment, and of course, they don't you squeeze into these things, I guess, and they can't work around it. So I guess I'd like to be excused at noon.
okay. Elvin,
Thank you. I have a concerns form submitted by Elton Menard yesterday, and it's about application he put in for forestry director, never received a reply. And to continue, a couple of days later, after I was at, I received a letter in the mail from personnel department. It was dated November 3rd, 2025, saying that I wasn't selected for an interview. Why? But the date that was mailed and stamped was December 5th, 2025. A whole month later, it looks like that I was discriminated against from trying to get an interview. I felt that I had a very good chance of being selected as a director for forestry because I have an education and I used to be director of safety of dams. I also applied for water resources director and veterans affairs director. I would like to get a fair opportunity
Elvin,
just like everyone else.
if you give me that, I can visit with Jennifer about it.
Well, I don't know if he submitted to me, he should submit it to personnel. But I just let the tribal council know what is going on.
Okay.
And, I know, I worked for him when he was the director of safety of them. And he was, terminated for, I don't know what reason, but
Alvin.
his officer, tribal council, and
Okay.
he was found not guilty, so.
With the,
And he didn't take the job, he wanted the money, his back pay, and the tribe couldn't pay him. So I don't know what happened, I didn't listen, forgot about that, but this got to be submitted to what, personnel?
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Elvin. Any more? Okay, we have, request to be excused, Bill Marshall, Robert, and Stan. And then Cowboys requesting to leave at 1, Hope at 3, Michelle at 1, Tammy at 12, and Ben at 12. And Mike and Wayne are at the SU meeting. I got Emily, Toads, and Todd.
I was just gonna say, the SU.
Do you have something, Toads?
No, I was gonna say everything.
Okay, Todd. Todd,
Could I just make a motion to recess at noon? Since a lot of us are gonna be gone at noon.
Do we need
Would
to
that be okay? Or?
schedule
Yeah.
after a
I
date?
think that would be okay. We don't, Monday's a holiday.
Recess to Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday. What is that, personnel and liquor commission? Okay. What's that date?
18th. 18th.
Because we have a lot of resolutions that we need to get through too.
I'll second your motion.
Recess until Tuesday.
Noon until Tuesday. Tuesday or Wednesday?
I'll
Or
make a
Wednesday.
motion to recess
Oh,
at
Wednesday.
noon Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Or, yeah, Wednesday.
Wednesday to what?
18th.
Council?
Second? Wednesday. the 18th. Motion by Todd to recess at noon.
I got something.
Okay. Recess at noon until Wednesday the 18th. Second by Kate. Any discussion?
I just want to say, first off, good morning, everyone. Aqui está Chicala Melo, Chante Washington Pechiza. So we took 3 days this month to go and get through an agenda. Obviously we didn't do that, and so we're gonna take another day next week to get through the agenda. Yeah. So we wasted a lot of time the last 2 days. I want to apologize to the public, and I want to apologize to my council reps too for wasting our times. The topics that came up, important for sure, but that's not why we came here. We were supposed to get through an agenda, and that did not happen. And today we're going to leave at noon. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that so that the public knew that we didn't get through the agenda these last 3 days. But that's what the meeting was supposed to be for. That's why we have 3 of them in a row. But we'll try again Wednesday.
Votes.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning to the Oyate listening. And we haven't gotten through an agenda for a year and a half. And the discussions that we had were very important to have. And they were just discussions to the people. So we're gonna get through as much as we can today till noon, and we're gonna recess for a good reason. And so let's have a good morning, you guys, and prayers for Lisa's mom. Thank you.
Call for the question. Michelle. All in favor? Opposed?
One,
Not voting.
0.
Motion carried. We have a motion to excuse the absences. That's a good motion by Charles, seconded by Totes. Question. Michelle, all in favor? Opposed?
0.
Not voting.
0.
Motion carried. Okay, did you want to start with, should we start with health board? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do have a transportation resolution I need to amend, so if we can get that today.
Okay.
It's the one with the time sensitive one.
Good morning. I just have a quick question. Oh, go ahead.
Do you have something? Okay.
Mine was gonna be about what we're gonna talk about next, so he can go first. Sorry, Charles, I didn't see your hand.
She was going to start with her health board report.
Yeah, I just have a resolution to letter of support from the tribe for a county road in Tripp County from the Little Feller gas station to the North Ideal community. It's just a letter of support to help the Tripp County commissioners hopefully get their grant to fix that road. So it's a 14-mile road.
I think they're going to pave it, right?
Yeah. They're gonna repave it.
Okay, Emily.
Good morning, everyone. Before I get started on health board, I just wanted to ask, also in my notes that's underneath the committee is the governmental affairs committee. I don't think there's any resolutions, but there was the issue regarding the safety and the dog concerns. And so I don't know if we also wanted to add that for our discussion or if you guys were going to tackle that maybe next week, but that was something that needed some discussion from council that didn't necessarily have a resolution yet. Health board, I don't know where you want to start. Do you want to start with the ratification ones that we've paused, or do you want to start with the new ones that need to come through?
It's up to you.
Okay. Yep, let me get to my notes here.
Charles.
Morning, everyone. So, I don't have a formal report to hand out today. I'm kind of just gonna try to summarize as much as I can, and hopefully going forward, we can have a more standardized report. Health board has a lot of moving parts and a lot of good things hopefully gonna be happening soon and continuing to happen. There are some concerns that we talked about a little bit before. I'll touch on them a little bit, but mainly our biggest thing right now that we're trying to do is get an idea of what our current organizational, thing is within our, tribal departments, and then also how we're going to move forward with healthcare and IHS and the idea of compacting and everything like that. So those have been kind of the focuses, along with, of course, a priority of the committee has also always been, how do I want to say this? There's many priorities, but one of the first focal points that we were wanting, that had been identified, was to declare a state of emergency regarding the health, our women's health, our children's health, or lack thereof, and how that's closely linked to this ongoing genocide and assimilation that our people have been enduring for generations. So that's one of the things that I also wanted to talk about, but also remind us that there was a petition resolution that started, but then kind of stopped because we wanted to have a discussion on that, and that never happened. But that's still something that we wanted to push through from Health Board, because it's been almost impossible to have any kind of internal collaboration regarding things like the lack of OB services, the lack of women's health services, and especially when you add on a layer of addiction, like mothers and meth and pregnant women on meth, and that addiction cycle and healing and all of that. So that's been a focal point that we've been trying, I think, for like a year to get some collaborative efforts. We've even been trying to work with different committees and the president's office, and we don't know how to move that forward without letting our people and this council know that that should be elevated, in our opinion, to a state of emergency. So I don't know if that's something that we could also revisit eventually. I don't know where it is, if it's on a resolution to come up or if it's one of our petition resolutions. Another thing that we wanted to talk about is the petition resolutions themselves. I know we kind of addressed those already, so I don't want to take up too much of our time today. But I did want to make a motion regarding petition resolutions that we pause or do not allow any petition resolutions to go forward that waive our sovereignty in any way. I would like to make that a motion, yes.
Sorry, I was trying to collect the other ones. Okay, motion to, can you repeat it, please?
To not allow any petition resolutions to move forward that waive our tribal sovereignty in any way. And I totally understand that there's emergencies and that's what petition resolutions are for, but it's very clear from this committee and others that that petition resolution process has been abused. And most recently, with the waiver of sovereign immunity and all of that we discussed, I just want to make sure that we have ample,
Okay, motion by Emily to not allow any petition resolutions to move forward to waive sovereign immunity, to waive our sovereign immunity in any way. Okay, seconded by Ben. Any discussion? Question? Discussion? Okay. Didn't see your hand was raised.
Sorry. Good morning, everybody. I know that we always have issues about how our processes happen and stuff, but I also want to, and I agree with that, not waiving, our sovereign immunity. It's always been big here with this body on how we protect our tribe and how we do our work. There are instances where all programs, every program has to do petition resolution. And I think that we should find some time to discuss petition resolutions, because we don't know what's going to happen. And I would, caution us in a way where we can have a healthy discussion about our petition resolutions and how they're done. There's things that are of time essence. Healthcare for one, it changes, and sometimes things come in and, and we're not always able to meet. And I'm going to take responsibility for that, for our programs, because we're not always able to meet, and it does make it difficult. And then I know that a lot of programs are even scared to do petition resolutions, even if they have to, because it does raise issues. But remember, we always have that personal choice not to sign them if you don't want to. And at least, we can get business done for them. But I know that with healthcare, things do change. And the same thing with healthcare, child welfare. It's really hard because politics shouldn't get involved in either of those things, but in today's world, it seems like those that are targeted, the innocent, and the most vulnerable people in those arenas. So I just wanted to see if at some point maybe we can, as a body, kind of look at discussing petition resolutions as well, maybe next week sometime.
Yeah, and with our sovereignty, we don't want to encroach on our sovereignty in any way.
Yeah.
And always try to keep our arbitration here in tribal court. So I think that if our directors have a contract coming up, to have it reviewed right away so our attorneys can negotiate that out of there, so. Emily and Ben.
I just wanted to say thank you for that. I think that's very important. And I just wanted to remind everyone that I thought I mentioned it, but just in case we weren't here, we are talking about that petition resolution process right now in Governmental Affairs Committee. So if anybody wants to join us, please come. We're trying to move that forward so we can include all of that. And I'm not in any way saying there's not instances where we need to waive our sovereign immunity. I know that that's something we have to do from the business side of a tribal nation. What I'm just saying is rushing through a petition resolution that's waiving our sovereign immunity is what I'm trying to pause right now so that we have time to discuss it and understand what we're actually signing away. That was the intention for this motion. But thank you for that.
Todd.
I agree with that motion on our tribal sovereignty. I think our program should already know that they shouldn't put anything like that in these resolutions though for us.
I'm sorry.
I said, I'm all for that motion about our sovereignty, and I'd vote for that motion. But on the other hand, I don't think our program should even be presenting resolutions with that that have that in them. Yeah, they should know better. I think that we're going to vote no against anything that's jeopardizing our tribal sovereignty or our treaty rights. Just all this stuff in the United States going on with ICE and stuff now, and federal marshals. If it comes down to where we have to, I don't think it's up to us 20 to decide on that. I think it's up to a referendum vote, and everybody's going to have to decide on trying to, to let ICE or federal marshals in here. I think that's something we there's certain things that we shouldn't vote on. We should leave it up to everybody on the reservation. So I just think the program shouldn't put that in any resolution that comes before us because they know we're going to vote against it. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning again. So, again, I think this is where we had some concerns in the past several years since I've been on council about, a lot of committees not meeting and pushing through these petition resolutions, which is very kind of concerning because this wording comes into play there a lot. So, now that we are meeting as a health board and have questions about some of these resolutions or maybe even some of these, I guess, potential services for our people, there's got to be things that we are doing it properly. So I just think that was something that we did discuss, and that's why it did come from committee. And majority of these haven't come to committee, and that's why we're having problems with them, because there is language in there, and we sit on the health board, and we are wondering what is going on. We weren't aware of this. There's something that was brought up yesterday, I think, by one of our colleagues too, that we were kind of shocked about. I was shocked about too, sitting on the health board, and I was like, wow. So that's why I say I think it needs to be put in here, and there's no guidelines, I guess, with the petition resolutions. But I know in the past that's the reason why they got things through, which was kind of I guess unfair, or I guess, geez, I don't know. It's kind of tough, I guess, for me to even think about it. I think there's several colleagues here said it was almost criminal. So, but I believe that these committees should be able to look at these resolutions, or maybe even these ideas that are coming up through these programs, and I guess just to relay that we're not trying to not have it. We just want to make sure that things are being done right, so we don't get anything, no lawsuits or anything that come in place. So, but those are just my thoughts on it, because again, these committees are set in place to look at those and have these long discussions about whether it's beneficial, how it's doing the right way, things like that. So anyway, I just want to put that out there, because I do sit on the health board, and again, we just want to make sure that everything gets I guess talked about, questioned, and all that type of stuff, just so we can, say that all the Ts were crossed and Is were dotted, things to that effect. So that's just my thoughts on this, and yeah, that's the reason why I think we were pushing for this. I thought it was just all resolutions, but, just the ones that have non-sovereignty in it. So, but that's just my take on it. Thank you.
Call for the question. Votes. All in favor?
Can you read that motion back again real quick?
Motion by Emily to not allow any petition resolutions to move forward waiving the sovereign immunity in any way.
Okay. And that's kind of the main part of it, our sovereign immunity. Okay.
Waiving it.
Just that, yeah.
We don't want to waive any of it.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Fourteen,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
0.
Thank you. Before I forget, I ran through that earlier, but I wanted to ask if we could have, our health board was wanting to have a reaffirmation motion from council regarding that, I think it was in October. They made a motion to move to council to declare a state of emergency for lack of care for mothers, newborns, and all total women's health as a form of continued genocide for our people and on our people. I believe there was a resolution drafted, so I was just wanting to know if council would like to make a motion to reaffirm that, or if we would like to look at that, or how we want to move that one forward, since it's been since October.
Do you have a copy of the resolution?
It went around as a petition resolution, but I don't think that one got enough signatures on it. So that's why I was wondering, do we need to bring it back forward, or if the secretary's office could check maybe where that one was?
Yeah.
It was originally as a petition resolution, but I don't know if it got sent out or if it needed to come here. I'm not sure, but,
Just reaffirm a state of emergency.
yes, regarding women's health and, children as well.
Okay. We'll look for that.
Thank you. Okay. The next thing on here, sorry, where my notes go. Could I have a little bit longer than 3 minutes to give my report, please?
Then she's doing her committee report.
Thank you, council. There was an ongoing concern from one of our health departments. They were identified a kind of gap, I guess, for the need for maybe a creation of a board regarding adolescent services. I believe back in 2001, she stated that there was a some activity done, maybe even an ordinance draft. We did try to bring it through Governmental Affairs Committee, but there needs to be some research done on that. So it's been a while, and I just wanted to bring that to committee here to see if anybody has any historical knowledge of that, or if we could research that through the secretary's office to see if that still exists, or have we filled that gap in any way. Sometimes we get issues at health board that kind of are a little bit adjacent, but kind of should be talked somewhere. And so I just don't know if that's something that we can look back into, or if we want governmental affairs to keep looking at that. We're happy to do that. I just wanted to touch base with council to see if anybody had any historical knowledge on what was done back then. Maybe Eric, maybe was here.
Oh, it was to address juvenile
Adolescents, like things like adoptions, and all of kind of like our youth services, emergency services, maybe like our shelter, all that kind of stuff. It seemed like some were here and some were here, and they were kind of nestled in different things. And I guess back in the early 2000s, there was some discussion and even possibly an ordinance drafted to create an adolescent board or some kind of board that would address those types of things. Okay. And it's been quite a while that we've been discussing around that, but we didn't have enough information to really move that forward, or even guidance from this body on how we should move that forward.
Sure.
Thank you. Councilwoman, has the committee made any motions for the secretary's office to do research on that?
I believe the committee did, and it's been a while since that. So that's why I was just wondering if we could resurface that a little bit and figure out where we are. But there was also the question of, did anybody move that forward, or has anybody, created something since then? And so that's why I just wanted to bring it here to make sure nothing else is happening within that realm as we're moving it forward. Because sometimes it feels like there's moving parts here that we're not all aware of. So I just wanted to check on that before we try to move it forward as we are through committee.
I would just say.
Just continue at committee? Okay.
Yeah, bring it forward. I support that.
Okay, thank you, committee, or thank you, council. Next up on my list is, this one's real tiny, but I just want to mention, so the scheduling of our health board, since we have been getting quorums and meeting a lot more regularly, there's been several times recently that we've been kind of pushed out of the room at 1 because other meetings have been in this room, and we were under the impression that that was the only thing scheduled on our council schedules for those days. So I was wondering if we can lock in those Thursdays for the use of this room, or do we need to schedule that separately, or how that works? Because 2 times within the last month, we've been asked to leave our meetings early because other meetings were scheduled here.
Council meeting?
No. I'm not sure, so I don't want to say they're not important. I just want to say that it kind of, when you're kind of going in a meeting and you get things going, it kind of breaks things up a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Tammy and Sherry.
Really quick, Emily, the annex has a meeting room over there, that space, that I feel that some of our committees that might boil over, or some that are coming in, could probably use that, or if you feel you might go longer, maybe use that. Plus the finance department has that meeting room back there. Nowhere does it say we have to meet in here, so we can move our meetings over there or back there.
But do you know where it says that our health board can only meet from 10 to noon?
It doesn't say that.
Yeah, so that's what our missing, we thought we had the whole day because that was always the only thing that was scheduled, but it seems within this last month, there's been some events that were scheduled here. And then we can have, so I just wanted to ask if that's something that we can lock in our time or that day for use of this room, or what the process is to
Or
make.
move it to the annex.
Or maybe if we could just be made aware of, rather than during our meeting, something like that.
Yeah, but our committees, there's no specific time when they have to stop. If it starts at 10, it can go as long as it needs to.
Thank you.
Sherry. Thank you.
So all of our committee meetings trump all other meetings. Gee, I shouldn't say that word. But they overrule all other meetings. And give us some bad juju today. Sorry. So if there's other meetings, the only time there's a conflict is when there's 2 committee meetings scheduled back to back, one at 10 and one at 1. We should really establish something where we can draw some lines where if you guys are already meeting, like education, for example, if personnel goes over, then who leaves? We should really come to an
Or a
agreement.
backup location, you know what I mean? Like that's fine if we could have like the annex reserved as backup or something, because.
And there was a motion made in 2022, maybe Allison can look into it, but I made a motion to have IT set up that room in the annex to mirror this room, so there's Zoom capabilities and meeting space in those instances, because we were having meetings running over, and when what we would do in that instance was let the people who were meeting, if it was a heavy discussion, let them stay and we would move. Or if it was they just had a few small things to finish, then they would relocate and then we would start our meeting at 1. But I think those are just small things that we should work out, because if it happened while I was on council before and it's happening again, we need to, but definitely maybe we need to make a motion just stating that committee meetings take priority over any other meetings in the council, just like council takes priority over committee meetings.
Yeah, just another quick one too. You know, I guess in that situation too, I was kind of concerned because we were all there on committee, and there was 10 of us, I think 12 of us, along with program directors. So, I mean, it's gonna be kind of tough to get into a small room to try to meet. And, you know, we have a bigger room here that we were in. But that was just concerning to me also, is that we were told that we had to hurry up and leave, you know, and I was like, this is what we get to these resolutions, and this is what we get to, you know, get a lot of these things pushed through and even discussed. So that was just my concern, and I was kind of, I guess, worried about it too. That's where I think that conflict should be understanding of the administration and also, the committees, because that's where we have the calendars and things that affect to be able to, hash these things out of when they can have these meetings and stuff. So those are my concerns right now. Again, I think all of us were there at Health Board, and again, the directors came in. So to hurry up, push us out there. We only had, 2 hours, I think, to try to get through resolutions and also discussions. So I'm kind of concerned about it. So, but anyway, if we can find some way to get that straightened out with administration and also other entities to let them know that, committees probably should take precedence over some of these issues. So. If we still,
Seriously, make a motion.
yeah, if we can,
Well,
Yeah.
okay, I got talking then.
No, just to say, I agree with Ben, 'cause our last, health board meeting, this whole thing was full. There was some people sitting back there, so there was a lot of people here.
Yeah.
And I think we had our whole, board was here too. So it took up this whole area.
I'll make a motion to have the secretary's office send out a memo stating that the council chambers, that the council and committees take priority to the council chambers for all meetings.
Council and committee?
Yep.
Committee meeting.
Scheduled council and scheduled committee meetings take priority for any meetings in the council chambers.
Over any priority over
Any meetings,
any meetings. Sorry.
Or gatherings.
yeah. That funerals, huh? Except when we have anyone laying in state. We put that in there. Over any meetings or gatherings, except when we have somebody laying in state in the chambers.
Seconded by Penny. Any discussion? Votes. All in favor?
Bob,
Opposed?
2,
Not voting.
0.
12-0. Motion carried. Okay.
Thank you, Council. So next on my report out is just when we first got on, many of us new ones, we were learning, and so we were asking about, well, what is the organization of our health administration? What programs are all underneath there? And then over the time that we've been on there, it's still not much clearer. Not only do we not have organizational, knowledge and things like that, there's been a lot of things regarding our budgets. And so I don't know if we can have a discussion or get some clarity on who oversees things like large budgets of grants as far as keeping us in compliance and keeping our oversight. Is that something that budget and finance does? Is that something that our committee does? Is that something that we each take a piece of it? Because right now, neither one of us are knowledgeable on some of our financial activities. And whenever it becomes an issue, it's becoming a really, really big issue because we're talking, millions of dollars for some of these, many of them. But I really feel if we could set aside some time, maybe a day, that we could have them all come down and introduce them to all of us. Because if we don't know what all programs that we have, or if not everybody has the same information on all of our resources available, that then trickles down to our people not having access to those resources because they might not know about it, or when they reach out, we don't have that information to give out. So we've had some programs that have been doing really good, giving us brochures, giving us information like that, but it's not always like that for all of it. And so I feel like if this council can take some time to make sure that it doesn't come across like we're trying to micromanage, that it comes across as we just need to know what we're all about. We need to know what all resources out there, how we can support those resources, what gaps are still out there so that we can fill them. Those are the types of things that we need to still do at Health Board. We had to get some other things under control, like our attendance and all that kind of stuff. But I really feel like we have a really good group of people and really amazing programs and staff that are knowledgeable, but we need to be able to talk and communicate. And I think that that would help having it come from council as a whole to give guidance, to make sure that any efforts that we do after that are in alignment with what the overarching goals are. Because things like our healthcare, like I know we've been trying to, take our time and bring our people along and educate them, but we might hit a point where we don't have a choice anymore. We might be forced into some things. And I'd really, really like to say that we took advantage of this opportunity as far as not only educating our people, but having an opportunity for them to tell us what they expect, what their vision is for healthcare, for Rosebud, for themselves, so that any effort that we move forward is including of that. So we have a really good vision statement. I'm proud of it. It's amazing, but now it's the time to work to expand that and actually bring it to life.
I think at that level, if you're wondering about funding information or grant information.
Well, all information, like we've even asked made motions, like, can you bring a report, like bring one of your programs one at a time to report to us? And that doesn't always happen either. And so it's just like, how do we have, a working relationship if we don't even know what our total role is? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the directors report to the committees, right? So
most of them, not all of them. And that's another thing.
if you have questions regarding funding over a specific program under the health board, you can have a collaborative meeting with the budget and finance committee.
Okay.
And then have the director come in, and you can do that at a committee level. And if there's any action items, you can recommend it to council.
Thank you. Okay.
That would be a start for it.
That's what we needed clarity on, because when we try to get in there, we were threatened, like, that could be ethics. You guys are, beyond your scope and things like that. And it's like, well, whoa, like, we're just trying to make sure that our tribe has the full, taking their full responsibility and liability and all of that for when we assume these big roles.
Yeah,
like
when I was on budget and finance, we used to have meetings together with other committees. I know Sherry has them with economic development, and governmental affairs, so you can put mesh your meetings together.
Thank you. Okay. And so kind of adjacent to that, what do we do or an instance somebody's on the agenda, but they never report or they don't show? Like, do we have oversight to request him to show? Like, is that micromanaging? Like, those are the types of things that we kind of meet walls on for some of these things.
At the committee level, you make a motion that they are on the agenda, recommend that, give the president or vice or direct them to ask them to come to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. So one thing that
put it in a motion that they've missed, they haven't been, the secretary's office can look at that too if they haven't come for a while. So.
Thank you. So one thing that's going to kind of bleed into or roll over into my next part is the idea of, like I mentioned earlier, we need to include our people on these conversations and get their input. But whenever we're talking about compacting or contracting, I had made a motion back in October 8th, a motion to have the business office work with the president's office and the human resources department to draft a scope of work, job description, budget, and funding source in regards to hiring a full-time liaison to coordinate outreach and education and bring them to the personnel. And it's been really hard getting any kind of update or where we are with that, or has anything been happening with that. So I don't know if I need to reword that or make a different motion, but the intention was to help, because we have conversations here and there, but we don't necessarily have somebody where that's their whole job is to liaison between this tribal council leadership board and that, all of that's going to go on. The reason why I'm mentioning that with what I said earlier was when we went to our last conference in December in Rapid City, OHC model that is, may not be perfect, but it's being successful. They really stress the importance of, you can't just do it with your leadership. You can't just do it with the doctors. It has to be multiple. And so they have multiple boards that have helped move them forward and be inclusive and get this to there. And we are very one track right now. And that's why I feel if we were able to identify this liaison, we would be able to task them with things that would be able to do that wouldn't hamper our existing administrator up there that we've already tasked with so much as far as this. And so I feel if our healthcare really wants to move forward and we really need to do something, regardless if we're contracting, or leaving us IHS, we have to know what our people want and we have to get this plan together. And so I was just wondering what kind of motion I could make to get some movement on this, because in all actuality, one person can't do it. We actually need multiple boards, like I just mentioned, but this person would be the start to build those teams of experts and all of this, and tie in our health administration, tie in our leadership, tie in, all of our allies and things like that. But I was just wondering what I could do to get an update and get some movement on this.
Yeah, let me look into it on that one. I know Skyla, was involved a lot when OHC was first getting started. And I think Geraldine had a couple of advisory boards and not mostly authority boards, like the health board would be the authority board, but the advisory board would get the information together. And
Yes, they had several. They had some
Like that.
elders, they had some leadership,
the
they
Zoom
had
board,
all
I don't know if that's still established, but we've had those. No, I said on there, so.
Yeah, so that's something that I really think that we need to do, those types of things here to move us forward.
I don't know what the action was on that from October, so I could look into it and see.
Okay, I'll hold on to this maybe till next meeting when we have an update to see.
Can you send it, email it to me?
Yes.
Lila, are you done?
Or can the secretary send it from her? It's a motion excerpt from the October 8th meeting.
18th or 8th?
8th. Yep. Thank you.
Lila.
Thank you, Madam Chair. When we're in our committee and we're doing all this work and bringing it forward, I know that I'm probably not the only one who has this issue, but, our Secretary's office and our legislative affairs, they're the two wings of this body that should be getting this information and following up, because when we have our meetings, they're every 2 weeks. And if it's not a continuous flow, we're checking up and following with our motions and seeing what's next, then that puts a damper on us continuing the work, the flow of the work. And right now, it seems like we're just taking everything on. That's not our job here. The Secretary's office, the scheduling, that goes to them. And I'm glad that we're discussing this because it should take precedence. Our committee meetings have always been precedents for this room. The other thing I want to say was Todd brought up an issue of being on air. So that's something that we all agree to in House Board, to let our people know what we're talking about and have the discussion on air. And I don't know if Annex has the capability for that, but it'd be good to have that in here. So we want to be transparent. We want to have people know exactly what's going on in our healthcare, and have those conversations and that dialogue. Like yesterday, we had a gentleman come in and he discussed talked about dialysis. Change is coming, and it's real important that we involve everybody. But when it comes down to who's going to follow through on our motions, and how are we going to bring that to our next committee meetings, it gets frustrating when those aren't followed through. And that means we have to have our people wait another week or another month. And that's really, unhealthy. It's not good for us to do that kind of work for our people. We, when they come and they want answers, or they just want to ask questions, everybody, their healthcare here, we're responsible for giving them the best. And that's what we really want to focus on, and having them involved. Healthcare right now is really in limbo. We still have IHS here, but a lot of people don't really want to ask those questions. They're comfortable here coming to us. So I just wanted to make that suggestion that, legislative affairs and secretary's office, maybe they could do some work together as well. So that's just.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle?
I have a question for Emily, if that's okay. We have a lot of issues that come to judiciary regarding the police having to sit at IHS with inmates because the jail will not take them in until they're medically cleared. So we've been trying to brainstorm and come up with ideas on how to keep our officers out on patrol rather than having to sit at IHS. And one of the ideas was to see if health board can assist with that as well. They can have somebody that can maybe go to the jail, or I don't know.
So I'll give you the update, and then I might ask Skyla for an update from her, because several months ago, I'll have to look back, like a while ago, our ACF director brought this to the health board as far as this is a requirement within that contract that used to be fulfilled by IHS. And for whatever reasons, IHS no longer had the staffing to do that. Well, it was later revealed in that conversation at health board that the staff that used to help do all of that is now a staff for health board. So health board asked Skyla to look at ways that we could fund that, because we do have funding for nurses, and that the nurse that was doing, whatever is already on payroll. And so the thought was, if they have contract money that they can pay, but they cannot fulfill it because they're not medical, they can't, it's hands off for them, then why can't they do a contract with health administration to provide those services, either there or find a location that would fit? So Skyla, do you have an update on that?
So on that issue, that Michelle was asking about, when that issue first came up, I visited with the staff that I do have that are registered nurses and LPNs. Their issue was that they didn't want to jeopardize their license in case something happened with those patients. And so it was really hard for them to want to take that initiative to deal with these patients with ACF. And it's an ongoing issue, and it's been that way historically. And it's becoming more and more of an issue that's been brought up. And so we're trying to find a different avenue that doesn't hold such a huge liability for people that are on staff at my office, because it's all about their licensures that they need to be considered about too, because if something happened and if he was one of the inmates or something, and I'm the one with the license with the nurse or the counselor, and something happened on my watch, there's that chance that either your family is going to file for a tort claim or something in that nature, and nobody wants that type of legal issue attached to their license. So it's really a tough barrier that we have to deal with on that. So the other alternative would be to either not utilize my staff, because they're already voiced their concern with that, is that they would need to contract or hire someone specifically to deal with those type of inmate issues. And the other thing is, and this is another issue that comes up, is that IHS, and I say it's a historical issue because when I was a little girl, my dad worked for IHS. And my dad was in housekeeping, and he would always been given a directive, you need to sit with this behavioral health patient, and he would. Or they would put him in that orange, give him that orange Suburban, and he'd have to transport those behavioral transports. And I remember that as a little girl, and it's still happening as of today in an adult world with me, and I still see it. It hasn't even changed with IHS. So IHS needs to buckle up and come up with a solution, because it all lies with them. And so now, like with this behavioral health outpatient building that here, I'm hoping that we can help our tribal members, and I'm constantly trying to look for ways to help the PD and help ACF, because Melissa, she has a lot of issues, concerns with her inmates, and so we need to find that barrier. But at the same time, I feel that IHS needs to be a little bit more responsible with that because, like you said, they should be out patrolling and then they should be able to drop it, inmate or just somebody in general there and should have to be sitting there waiting with them.
I think it's a liability for everybody because the I just doesn't want that responsibility. Your office doesn't want that responsibility. And the barrier is that they cannot be booked in until they're medically cleared. So then that takes officers off the street and we're already short-staffed already. So it's a danger for everybody. And the adult corrections facility does have a station already within their facility for a nurse to set up and clear. So that's why they're reaching out to health board, somebody to help them because, and I don't know, I guess I don't understand why people don't work together and collaborate. It takes council to do that. And it's for the safety of our people.
As your last, Michelle, as part of that conversation that we had a few months ago, there was also an ask, and I don't know if anybody helped her with this, but we did make a motion from health board to get somebody that was, knowledgeable in healthcare to work with them because they had the funding, but they had no idea how much is appropriate to charge for these services, what's an appropriate contract amount, but they had an amount that they had in their budget. They needed to know if they needed to have more money, less money, all of that. So we made motions to get that support for them, but it doesn't sound like anybody's helped with that. So if that's still a need, I don't know if that's another reason why having somebody like with the healthcare something extension within our health administration would really benefit because they would be knowledgeable enough to contract these services or identify at least TA or assistants for our departments to get a budget for them because that's unfortunate that we can't even get a budget for them to when they have the money to spend, even if we can't provide the services, to at least get them contracted somewhere services. And I apologize for going a little bit off because I know your original question was about the detox and everything like that. And unfortunately, that has to be like a whole facility because our social detox that was planned for was presented to health board like it's going to fulfill this need and this gap that we have and take some pressure off the ED. But by the time it came into implementation, it went from a medical detox to our understanding of a medical detox to a social detox. So there's still probably a few steps in there, or at least one between the ED to where our social detox could pick up. But in the case of the contract and ACF and everything like that, I think if we could still find somebody willing to help with that knowledge of what a contract appropriate would be, last I talked to them, they had, a budget line item to pay a contract. It just was a matter of who could fill that.
It's been an ongoing issue with the LES and ACF
Yes.
and IHS because
I think even JDC.
Yeah, well, yeah, the JDC as well.
They have a responsibility to provide medical services for all inmates.
With the very limited amount of officers that we have, if one person has a medical issue, even if they say they're suicidal, the jail cannot book them in. They have to be cleared by IHS first. So that takes our officer off the street. And then you know what happened with them.
And we're hearing that people at the jail are using that as a way to get out because they say it's easier to escape from the ED. And so that's unfortunate because we have a lot of people that have legitimate mental, behavioral health concerns. But when you have somebody using that, like, you know what I mean?
Is there going to be any action on this today?
Sorry.
Okay, because we're going into reports. Skylar, did you want to respond?
I just wanted to add.
That could be addressed at committee level again.
I just wanted to address what Michelle was saying. So I did reach out to IHS, and they told me that the public health nurse goes out to the jail on Thursday. So I don't know if that's. I'm sure it's not enough for them, but they told me that they send a nurse from the public health department to go to the jail. So I don't know. And but I'll put more forth the effort to see if we can find her a nurse. But right now, everybody I ran into that was licensed, they just don't want it because it's a liability. It's not that they don't care for the people, but it's just a huge liability, and it's about their license that they're more so concerned, because if something happens, then
that'll be on their background and they will lose their licensure.
All right, thank you, Scott.
Oh, I have Todd and then Totes. You have? Over here stretching. I'm stretching too. I want to stretch my arm over and over. Did you have your hand up? Oh, no.
No, I was just stretching too.
The other day Chris was like this and I was like, he had his hand up.
I just have one question. Emily said, I'd like to know who has the line item in their budget to provide for a nurse or a PA.
This has been several months, so I don't know if their budget is still the same, knowing all of this new administration stuff. This was prior to this new administration change. They had a line item funding a certain amount. I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look in my mouth. And they needed to know, was that enough? Was that not enough? Do they need to request more? Because it is a BIA requirement underneath the contract that they have to fulfill when you have inmates. For so long, they have certain requirements that they have to do for medical. So that's the part that got discussed on us. And I only mentioned it because that would also, address kind of what Michelle was talking about.
So that's adult correction.
Yes, but I do know that I thought JDC and ACF both had that similar BIA requirement for inmate medical care.
Thanks.
It's it would be a 24/7 position too, because they book all hours of the night.
Ben.
Have you guys discussed this, right? I talked to the, I just, facility manager, it's a contract at the police department. So that way they would have somebody there, I just said Pine Ridge is doing it, so I mean, that was another question that was brought up with ACF too also, was that they need somebody there full time, and their security is not able to do it, but if they were to contract it, simpler to have the police department there to do that, so I'm just curious if anybody went down that route.
I'll check. I just,
Yeah, security department.
they refuse to do anything with them. They don't want that liability.
Oh, again, oh, wow, okay. So that's where we go back to square one again, because I know I did mention it to her, and I did mention it to Mr. Amy when he came, he said, yeah, that's probably an idea I would look at, but, that way to take a lot of our officers off, Anyway, that's what it is, and yeah, okay, thank you.
That's the next bullet point on my report. Oh, sorry, there was a question. Sorry.
Thank you. So, I keep hearing all of this and throughout the years of council, liability. That's how we get away from really addressing problems, and it's really embarrassing and frustrating. So when it comes down to it, we're liable if we only have 2 cops on duty and we have to have an officer sitting at IHS and we have a serious call that an officer's on, and then another serious call comes in. So where are all these people's liability insurance with these entities? I mean, aren't they covered? If somebody could come explain liability to us, I think that would be good, because at this point, it sounds like a excuse. Thank you.
I do know that we mentioned it briefly at the first IHS meeting that I was able to go to. I can't remember what it's called, governing body. And so they kind of gave their explanation as far as they are responsible, they are liable for providing that when somebody presents to the ER. And so they are doing, internal efforts to try to find, I can't remember the medical terminology, but basically watchers, that are trained to be able to sit with a patient in those situations. So not only does it not take away a nurse or a medical staff, but it doesn't have to take away one of our officers. So that is one way that they're trying to address this need, but it's so large, we're gonna have to do multiple phases to address it, which is why I recommended that 12-hour kind of holding house or whatever, a sobering house. We need to look into also maybe some options like that.
Sherry.
Thank you. So what are other facilities doing, and what are other hospitals doing, and what are other police officers doing? Has anybody looked into that? Could the health board look into that? Thank you.
Is it me now? Yeah. Okay, sorry, I kept cutting everybody off. So I'm trying to move fast, but sorry, I have so much here. So this next part, I know Ben mentioned it briefly, but I just want to be kind of not cautious, but kind of as far as how we talk about it because a health board has already gotten from the last round and then now even more recently, when we hear the word compact come up, everybody thinks, oh my gosh, they're gonna make a decision today and it's gonna happen tomorrow. So I just wanna, before I start talking about this next part, because we do have a lot of tribal members, our citizens that still work at IHS, and so I don't want anybody to believe like they're gonna be out of a job tomorrow if this decision happens or moves forward. So I was gonna preface with that, but because of what I said earlier about we may not have a choice in the matter, we want to have a plan regardless. And so there was some conversations between Health Board and IHS about if we are going to do a small piece to show if we could do this. One of the things that came up was what Ben mentioned to the security department because they are having such a hard time filling ongoing vacancies for so long. And when we want them to prioritize, usually medical staff and that kind of stuff goes to the top of IHS priority, understandably. And, that's why the vacancies there, I think, are not often pushed. But because of all of these other things happening, I mean, we have a lot of issues that are tied to security and what that could do. I feel like that might be something that our health board felt like that might be something we wanted to address as far as a potential compacting or contracting situation. But when we started having that discussion, that blossomed into, well, these other departments, they could also use, and, another one was recommended, the acquisitions department, because that's where a lot of the red tape is with the government about what governmental protocols and procedures and things you have to follow. So if the tribe does that part of it, then the equipment and the contracts and certain things like that will be underneath more of our control once we have policies and things in place. So once that started evolving, then, oh my gosh, it's the whole hospital, right? So the motion that came from Health Board that I'd like to get made here, reaffirmed, is to request technical assistance from Dan Davis at the area office, right? So if I can make that motion, and that would be regarding a conversation on potential 638 options. I don't know if you want to do that with a health board and then we invite everyone or have a special meeting with council, however you see appropriate, but I would just like that official request. I think it has
Potential what?
638
option?
Yep, just a request for technical assistance from Mr. Dan Davis.
Skylar, doesn't he already work with your office on that 638 process?
Yeah.
So do you want to have her set up the meeting with council or? Because I think he's been to prior council meeting before.
Sorry, she didn't say nothing like that at the meeting when we were discussing it, but.
She's talking about this 6:30.
Oh, I know, but that's why we made the motion that we made. We didn't know we already had a
Okay.
relationship like that.
Yeah, did you want to have Skylar work with him to set up a meeting with council on?
Yes, that's what I was asking council. Do you want it to be a special meeting with council, I'm assuming, so that we can discuss what our options are moving forward?
Okay. So motion to request technical assistance from Dan Davis on potential 638 options.
And to schedule a meeting with council.
Then so we have health board or health administrator scheduled? Okay. Yeah, he's done work with us in the past, I thought. A timeline on that?
Maybe within a month. I don't know what his scheduling is. At least the update within a month. Even if the meeting doesn't happen within a month, at least if it's scheduled within a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Skylar, do you know what his timeline looks like? Is he pretty busy?
I just pretty much sent out an email and then he'll let me know when he's available.
But she'd be able to have that scheduled within
Can
a
you
month?
send an email out, maybe bring us back something on Wednesday? Okay. Okay, motion by Emily. Is there a second?
I see.
Okay, Sherry. Discussion. Oh, Todd?
Is that gonna be like an informational meeting?
More like a planning meeting.
Planning meeting?
I believe if we want to put it
Okay,
on
yeah.
air.
Yeah, it'd be good because he came whenever I was on council, so it'd be good for you to get information on it too.
You know, in the future, I see health board having their own full day,
Yeah.
setting aside a whole day for just health board. And, and what I was gonna say earlier, I remember that, the patient that seen us on TV yesterday, the dialysis patient. Well, when he got done, he called me over and he said, "Tell the council thanks. Thank you for letting me up." He said, that's the first time he's heard anything on TV about dialysis. And then he said something too before he left. He said, "See if council or any committees can get a dialysis patient as an advisor on one of the boards. One that's, that's hooked up every other day. But that's what he asked me too. So. And that's a good idea. He says, and right now, health board, this dialysis thing is starting to become a really big issue. I think health boards, in the future is going to have their own full day to for these, for these other programs to come in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, for the question.
Question.
Fine. All in favor?
Opposed. 0, 1.
Thank you. I know I think Lila or somebody mentioned it earlier, but there was a motion by, committee to have our health board meetings, unless discussing sensitive information aired over the air. So I didn't know if there was anything that we needed to take action from this level, or can that committee motion suffice the request
Or
for airing our health board meetings?
that would be, yeah, up to you guys if you want to do it.
No, a motion was made and passed that committee level. I just wanted to make sure that that's enough to direct the department to
Why
make
don't you
sure.
make a motion here?
We'll have to see the IT department, see if they could.
Yes, because I think it would have to be a conversation, and you know what I mean, like about scheduling and do they have staff capacity and all that, but that was a motion that was made and it came and it passed.
Sorry, don't they have to pay for it?
What?
To air it?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking. I don't know what those costs are. I don't know, I didn't even know if
Yeah,
it's,
we'll have to
I don't
talk
even
to
know if
IT
it's a
department, too.
possibility. That's why I wanted to bring it here for discussion, because I didn't know what all that entails. If we can even ask the department to schedule 2 more days a month.
Yeah, I think there's a cost to it.
It'd be to work with the communications department to air the health board meeting, right?
Motion?
Oh, was just to air them, but I think the motion here should be to have us look into the communications department to see about airing committee meetings. Does that sound okay, Emily?
IT.
Was there, did you second it? Oh, no, Todd did.
Communications is under IT and they report to economic development. Do you want me to check into that for you?
I think if that's possible, that would be great. And that way there's no kind of gray area of oversight and all that. But the motion did pass at committee level. So I just wanted to check if it's possible and what that avenue is to get it, to make it happen. Is there a cost involved? Is it staff that can even do it?
Yeah, I'll look into it because I know what Councilman Holloway is talking about, but I think we might have funded them under the budget under general this year, so they aren't
I think so, because I thought
doing that survival mode billing us anymore.
Should I
So
change my motion to refer that to TUC or just, I mean,
keep your motion
Keep
and
the
then
motion in
I'll
place.
come back with some info.
Okay.
yeah, and then I'll work with, if you need me to reach out to the director too, I'll work with you.
so the
But
motion is just to,
work with the communications department to air the health board meeting.
All committee meetings that want to be aired.
thank you. Just so we know what that option is, if they need another staff or how that even would work.
Committee meetings that want to be aired.
I think.
And I think that they put out a pricing list for just programs, right, Sherry? It's just a pricing list for programs. But I don't know, I think, I think you're right, we put money in there for general. Todd and Lila.
I think in the future again, not only health board is gonna be aired, but even like what we just got now about our turkey season coming up. Certain times of the year, I think some of those committees are gonna have to be aired. Like when it comes time to deer season and stuff. I think something like Land and Natural have to be aired so people. And then in 2011 and 2012, I made a motion to have stuff like this, our prices and our seasons and stuff, put like in the winter paper and the Gregory paper, because nobody knows ever what prices are, what the seasons are, and sometimes Sometimes these guys are late because of council. The season, they don't get started for a while. Because
Yeah.
council, council won't
Usually
meet.
usually they're always emergency, but
But yeah, I think there's gonna be other committee meetings that are, in the future gonna have to be aired when, certain times of the year. Like during the fair, I think a lot of the fair committee meetings will have to be aired, before Rosebud Fair, just so our people know what's going on. I think I think there's gonna be a time coming to where, a lot of committees are just gonna have to be aired every day.
for the question. Okay, all in favor? Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
1.
You have a lot more on your report?
No, but I just wanted to say,
Oh, I'm sorry. Layla had her hand up.
oh, sorry.
If it's okay. Okay, so, back to the issue with ACF. So Dr. Kobe is the medical officer for my department between the meth program and the detox. And he just now texted me and told me that he'd be more than happy to start being that person if I would be able to detail him, in between my two departments and that department. And then we'll start having a meeting with,
Okay, good.
and then we'll develop some type of infrastructure so that, to monitor like any suicide monitoring and develop some infrastructure that will work between hers and the eating. So that we're not having nobody sitting officers there. Yeah, so we're gonna work that plan out. So we'll start having we'll have our first meeting probably next week.
Okay.
Good.
Does she need to attend?
Yeah, she's gonna have to attend because it has to deal with her department. So all three IHS,
So Michelle
DCF,
and then Emily.
and health admin will meet, and then we'll develop a plan, and then I'll detail him, come up with an MOU or something for Dr. Colby so he can be up.
Okay. Will you reach out to her?
Yep, and then it would, so that way it wouldn't be no cost to ACF.
Okay.
We would eat that cost.
Thank you.
Yes.
Emily,
I was just going to,
Right.
I was
was it
just
for
going,
Skylar? Or no?
oh, it's regarding that, but thank you, Skyla.
Yeah.
She kind of already answered my question, so then I wanted to make a motion. Can we have Eric start drafting a potential, or working with Skyla to draft a potential contract for Dr. Toby regarding this and then bring it to our next health board meeting? That would save us a step. If not, then we're gonna have to do that at health board meeting, so. Yeah, so a motion to have Eric work with Skyla in drafting a contract agreement for Dr. Toby to meet those needs of our law enforcement entities. I don't know if it's, yeah. Okay.
I'll second.
The medical needs of our correctional facilities?
Thank you. Yes.
One question.
Second by Sherry. Question by Michelle. All in favor? Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
1.
Motion carried. Okay,
And then I also just want to, thank council for this. I know it's frustrating. I really feel for, my colleagues that are frustrated with our timeline, but I just wanted to stress that if we are allowed to make our reports monthly, and I know I'm a broken record for asking for those extra meetings at the end of the day, so I just want to really thank you for allowing this extra day. It's apparent that we're so far behind, we're going to need a little bit more, and so just thank you for bearing with us. But I wanted to pause real fast to ask Skyla if there's anything in her stack of things that are really, really time sensitive that cannot wait until next week, because I'm hearing some rumblings that there might be some other resolutions that are very time sensitive for today. And I wanted to offer the rest of our time today if any of hers can wait. And the reason why I say that is because It took our committee a while to get a nice flow to get her resolutions through, as far as they're really like up here as far as content and the level of question answering and everything. And so sometimes she didn't have the appropriate support staff with her to answer our questions. And without those questions being answered, it kind of made a lot of these resolutions stagnant. The last couple meetings, she's been bringing her medical staff and other support staff with us. And so this is making that process a lot smoother. We're able to get those questions answered with us and Eric and the board. However, that's resulted in a backlog. And so she does have quite a few resolutions that need to come forward. So sorry, I'm wordy, but are there anything that can wait until next week? We're going to be on the 18th. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Is that okay with council?
Yes, in council, we do have a lot of resolutions, so if we can just dedicate next Tuesday or Wednesday for resolutions. Sherry.
Thank you. Council, I have a really, important business question that's of a executive session matter that I need to ask you if we need to move forward or not. And because it's time sensitive, I do need to ask you all today. So maybe at the end when we're done, before everybody leaves, if you could give me 15 minutes to talk to you about it, because I don't want to waste energy to try to do it if the council's not interested in it. So I just wanted to say that if the council would be okay with that. From Economic Development Committee.
And that's your report. Ben,
Oh, what was that again? I'm sorry. What did you say?
she's asking that towards the end of the meeting, if we can go into executive so if we can make a business decision.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if we can get Evanston's real task real quick so we can get that information before it's
I'm waiting for Emily right now to finish.
it's a time sensitive thing also, so we need to.
Since we're running out of time, I'll just go back on my response.
I got this one ready.
So this one we're waiting for Emily? Yeah.
Transportation? That's what.
Can we get her real quick?
What about updated one from what's in your, were you done, Emily?
Yes, thank you, council. The
Okay.
rest was just
I
resolutions.
didn't mean to say it that way, but I was just wanting to pass.
No, that's why I stated that. I'm done with my report, just resolutions were left. And Skylar was okay for waiting for next week.
Okay, thank you. So this is the updated one from the one that's in your folder.
Is it done yet?
Okay,
Yeah, she's.
Yeah, I rushed through. It's good for now.
was that a motion, Sherry?
Yes, to approve Councilwoman Boyd's report, Boyd Belongo,
Or health board?
for Health Board.
There's a second.
Second.
Michelle. Question. Probably. All in favor? Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
0.
Motion carried. Okay, Tammy, do you want to start with yours?
Yeah. I have a resolution here of emergency legislation resolution for city council.
Motion for emergency? By
Was that on
Tammy.
books?
Second.
Oh, he's passing it on.
No, he passed it out. Or he's passing it. No? Yeah. It's in the. Oh, this one. Is it over there? She had it in one meeting before. Because she didn't have face.
I just need these. What? I just need that. You guys follow.
Motion for emergency by Tammy, is there a second? By Totes. Question. Charles, all in favor? Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
3,
Motion carried. Okay,
Motion to
approve 2026-24. By Tammy. Is there a second? Eric? Yes.
Okay, I'll start from the third whereas, council. Okay, whereas the Secunga Lakota Treaty Council has successfully submitted a funding request to the Tribal Nations Initiative Conservation and Climate Fund administered by Native Americans in philanthropy in the amount of $100,000 for the mining in the Black Hills Project, which will support legal consultation, computer program technology development, and database systems, pre-planning or planning towards environmental impact assessments, research and community education to assert tribal sovereignty and protect sacred lands. And whereas the grant funding has been awarded and will be administered through Secunga Lakota Treaty Council, Rosebud Sioux Tribe serving as a host tribal government and the Secunga Lakota Treaty Council as an implementing entity, and whereas the Rosebud Sioux Tribe supports the efforts of the Secunga Lakota Treaty Council to engage in activities and protect the Black Hills of Mihasapa, advance treaty enforcement, and fulfill the obligations to future generations through responsible environmental and cultural stewardship, whereas the Secunga Lakota Treaty Council held a meeting on June 17th, 2025, and recommends approval of said resolution, and now therefore be it resolved that the Rosebud Sioux Tribe hereby authorizes the acceptance of the mining in the Black Hills Project grant into the RSC finance and accounting system of the purposes outlined in the funding proposal and budget justification, and be it further resolved that all financial transactions reporting and compliance related to this grant shall be coordinated through the Secunga Lakota Treaty Council, and be it further resolved that the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Council authorizes the executive director of the Secunga Lakota Treaty Council to coordinate directly with Native Americans in philanthropy and RSC Finance Department for all matters relating to this grant. Be it finally resolved the president and or her designee shall sign all or any pertinent documents. Council here? No, this body gave, the funds available to finance, I guess. That's what Wayne's not here. If she only we can have him.
Wayne is at a Boys and Girls Club meeting and he'll be back at 1. Take a look. There.
Thank you. Is the treaty, director available to bring a budget over to us?
He should be. I don't know,
I just contacted him.
okay,
Okay, so we can,
because he said Tammy was handling it.
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, yeah. Then we can wait until he comes.
Sure. Motion to table?
Second. Michelle, question by Totes, all in favor?
Fourteen,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
0.
Okay, now we have transportation.
Move to amend,
So could reconsider and amend.
reconsider amend resolution 2026-11.
Second.
I have the transportation program here, but if I can't explain anything, then I'll have her come to the floor. Okay, but I'll try to explain everything on this amendments.
Who's the second? Terry. Terry, okay. Go ahead.
So the amendments are gonna be, I brought this, last month for the fiscal year 2026 bill grant. And there's an amount on here for the planning and pre-construction in the amount of $1,862,000. And the transportation program wants to do a 5% cost match in the amount of $93,100.
And all you're amending is just including that funding source?
Yes, and I think the funding source is, correct me if I'm wrong, but 732.186 engineering and lighting. That's where it's coming out of.
Coming from your program?
Yes.
Thank you.
Discussion. Question by Emily. All in favor? Ben? All in favor?
And just to let council know, this is just a pre-planning.
All in favor? Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
what?
I was gonna chew you out and you like you always do.
I know. So Sergeant at Arms is looking for a copy of the treaty resolution. Who needs it? Myla? You need a copy of the treaty resolution?
Oh, Marion?
Did you have an extra copy, Tammy?
No, just what, they brought over copies.
Allison. Did we count? What was the count? What was the count?
1301. 1301.
The number?
Oh,
6.
Oh, yeah, that was amending that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Royal's here, but he stepped out.
Okay, that's what
I see him counting. Okay, the next one we have is Charles DeBray. This will be emergency legislation.
I have a resolution. It's in support of the Trip County Commissioners redoing a county road north of Winter to the ideal community. It's a 14-mile project, but this is just to help them get their support of them getting their grant to reconstruct the road that's going up there, because the one there currently is pretty bad.
So you motion for emergency?
Second.
Seconded by Sherry. Question by Cowboy. All in favor?
Eleven,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
3.
Motion to approve by Charles.
Second.
Second by Todd. Go ahead and read it in. And it's number 25, or 25? 26-25. 2026-25.
Okay, I'll start with Fort Travis. The Trip County Commission has requested the Rosebud Sioux Tribe to write a letter of support for the submission of the application to the United States Department of Transportation for the reconstruction grant funds for the North County Road, 14-mile route between Winter and Idea. Whereas the Ideal community is recognized by the constitutional bylaws of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe as a fabulous community for the Rosebud Sioux Tribe Reservation, and there are many members of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe that reside there. And whereas the route is used to get to and from work, school bus routes, emergency service providers, ideal community, and Brimson Lane residents. Whereas DOT grants funds for the reconstruction of the North County Road to Ideal and Brimson Lane has significant impact on Rosebud tribal members, school, travel, emergency service, ambulance, fire suppression, law enforcement, and allocation to ensure safe and essential access to essential services, and therefore be it resolved that the Rosebud Sioux Tribe supports the Trip County Commission and authorize the president of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe or her designee delegated to write a letter of support for the submission of application to the DOT transportation for reconstruction of grant funds for the North County Road 14-mile route between Winter and Ideal, South Dakota.
Discussion.
Is there a timeline where this letter has to be submitted?
Next week.
So
There's a letter of
can we-
support. I don't think that got passed out.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, can we subject the letter if anything, because it doesn't.
Todd said it's really bad, that road. Any more discussion? Ben,
Just a quick question. How long, or when was the last time that they did upgrade that road, or how did they?
it's always been gravel.
Yeah, never. So this is actually the first time I actually, actually gonna deal with it.
Drive it on, it's like it's shelled out.
Yeah, I figured, yeah. Okay, but anyway, that's just the only questions I had. Then this is much needed.
It's the county doing it too, so.
Yeah, so
Good.
Call for the question. Todd, you seconded
Oh,
it.
yes.
Emily, all in favor?
14,
Opposed?
0, 0.
Motion carried. Okay, the next one we have is the game fishing park. Who's land and action?
Yes.
It's for the turkey season. We just handed out.
Well, I handed it up. Yeah, I'm fine.
You see them all? Accidentally hit one once, but never caught one there. Nowadays, it's like this. Yeah.
I can read it in, but I apologize. I don't think I was at the meeting where this was approved at committee, so I wouldn't be able to answer any questions.
It says that it was supposed to be brought up our last meeting, but it was canceled, and because there's no meeting on President's Day, they just wanted to bring it here because of it says it right here in the meeting.
Thank you. Motion for emergency? By Emily. Seconded by Todd. Question. Charles, all in favor?
Fourteen,
Opposed?
0,
Not one.
0.
Motion carried. And the number is 2026-26.
Motion to approve 2626?
Second. By Chris.
Okay. Whereas the RC Department of Game Fish and Parks recommends to the Land and Natural Resources Committee, strike that, sorry, next one. Therefore, be it resolved, the Rosebud Sioux Tribal Council hereby adopts and approves the 2026 spring turkey hunting season, number of tags issued, fees for tribal members, ATMs, and non-members, and all other recommendations listed above, that no changes may be made without the approval of the Director of Game Fish and Parks, Land and Natural Resources Committee, and the Tribal Council. And then I believe the attachment is the number and prices and all that.
Any discussion? Call for the question. 5. All in favor?
Fourteen,
Opposed?
0,
Not voting.
0.
Okay, motion carried. Okay.
I already need 15 minutes, so I don't.
Oh, yeah, okay. Executive?
Yes. But I'd like Cleve to stay.
Okay. I'll declare this an executive session.